It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Kuralt.
This year is the 100th anniversary of the death of the Hungarian composer and virtuoso pianist Frans List. Some musical historians think Liszt was the greatest pianist of all time, probably. Eugenia Zuckerman takes us to hear the son of a Pittsburgh steelworker who is keeping Liszt alive.
And you do something different than
yes, because if you play what is on the page, you can't keep it in tempo. No, impossible.
Pianist Earl Wild is rehearsing for a rehearsal.
Yeah, okay. And I wanted to ask you, Maestro, at the end, this is not the best ending that Liszt wrote.
The maestro is Eduardo Matta, conductor of the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. Wild and Matta are working out their timing before rehearsing with Matta's full orchestra.
play off beats here.
Yeah, yes.
The placement of these chords.
Yes, to get them to speak.
Is
Well,
not
let
only
me
to get it to speak, but the timing.
let me do the two bars before that. Yes.
Okay. I think if we look at each other, it'll be.
Oh,
it'll
yes.
Be very
Oh, yes,
easy.
yes.
For you lowering.
Yes,
key.
yes. Good.
Because
Perfect.
You hear it all sorts
I
of
know.
ways.
I know. Most people, when they play this piece, spread it out so much that it becomes very vulgar.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Vulgarity is the last thing one would ever hear from Earl Wild. He works diligently to maintain taste and elegance with every note he plays, and he has played a lot of notes in more than 68 years of performing. He will be 71 this November.
I feel lucky because my muscular system has held up very well. And, you know, we never know how long it's going to hold up, but so far it's done very well by me. And I practice a lot, and I don't let a long period of time elapse when I don't touch the instrument. I play every day.
Wild has spent much of his 70th year traveling the world in celebration of the composer Frans List. This is the 100th anniversary of Liszt's death. Most musicians regard Wild as the foremost living performer of romantic keyboard music in general, and of Liszt in particular. In Dallas, Wild played the Second Piano Concerto and the Hungarian Fantasy. A legendary pianist. This is the way we in the world of music think of you. If there were a legend about you, what would you want it to be?
Oh, I never think that way. I think people who talk about themselves like as being this and that, or what they're going to leave when they die, I think that's a form of madness and conceit. I really don't care. You know, it's just that I keep doing my thing because I love it, and I play concerts because I want other people to love what I love, and I hope so, and I hope they do.
New York Times critic Harold Schoenberg wrote that Earl Wild has one of the great piano techniques of the 20th century. Yet his fame has not approached that of some other, perhaps less talented musicians. Part of the reason, says Wild, is that he was stereotyped early on as a specialist in the piano music of George Gershwin.
Well, I played my first Gershwin piece in 1942 when Toscanini asked me to play the Rhapsody in Blue with him, and I didn't know the piece, so I learned it. And the day after that performance, I was an authority on Gershwin.
Earl Wild is one of the most recorded artists of our time. He has recorded more than 31 concertos, more than 250 solo piano pieces.
I was asked to make records because when records were being made, when there was no tape, and you had to go once through, and it was there on this plate, I was rather accurate. So I was always asked to do lots of recordings because I was quick and accurate, you know, and that was important. There's only one thing I love more, and that's public performance.
Your powers of communication in the hall are enormous, and yet you don't have a flashy stage demeanor.
Well, I could carry on when I play. I could do all sorts of things. But I was raised in the Rachmaninoff tradition, which was to remain silent at the keyboard so that if you played a concert for the School for the Blind, they would hear it, what you were saying, and because they couldn't see it. And we always thought that any display of emotion in the hands, raising the hands and putting the head like this while playing and looking to the heavens. I mean, God doesn't help you during a recital. He helps you before, if you believe so, but not during the recital. And so all of that is utter foolishness, and it's sort of Hollywood, and it started in the 1800s with the idealized pictures of composers. You know, it would show, you would see in the music, it would say a nocturne, and there would be a picture of somebody on the front, and they would be going, you know, and it's so awful. It's comic, you know, and so I avoid all of that because I think it's vulgar.
Wild was born in Pittsburgh. His father was a steel worker, but his mother had a musical background. She sat him down at a piano when he was 2 1/2. Was there a moment when you had begun your music lessons when you felt, I will be a pianist, this I must do for my life?
Oh, I knew from the first day. I never wavered. I practiced through my family's quarreling. I practiced through the neighbors quarreling. When things would be very sad, I would go to the piano immediately, or if there was a death or anything, friends or relatives. I'm never too tired to go and practice some more, because I think if you're born with talent, it replaces religion. And whatever your talent is the thing that you must develop, because if you have any feeling of an afterlife or a God, then it's your duty to perform this work. That's the only way I'm religious in that aspect. Oh, I have drawers full of music I want to play. Yes. That's when you see that life is getting short, because you know that you have to pick out the things that you really are attracted to totally. And so I have a whole slew of things I want to play, and after the Liszt celebration, that's when I'm going to turn my energies towards that.